Welcome back, everybody. It is April 10th, 2018, 6:35 a.m. Just before I hit record on this button, I got an alert in Oval, Chile, right on the coast. That's the west coast of South America. 6.2 earthquake just struck with a possible tsunami warning. That is right on a tectonic plate. Let's see exactly where this was. 76 kilometers deep, so fairly deep. That may cause a little bit of bigger, shallower movement. It's quite possible. There's been a couple earthquakes there over the past couple hours, so I was just looking at my chart. I want to let you guys know. Anyway, let's take a look at Florida. We have Florida in a pretty severe lightning situation that's just under the panhandle. I got the lightning chart pulled up, and you could see all the strikes going on as we speak. And this is moving west to east. It's going to go right through, looks like Gainesville, St. Augustine, Daytona Beach, right above Orlando. Orlando may be clipped in this as well as Tampa, Clearwater, St. Petersburg. So the areas under the panhandle, the thinnest part of Florida, keep an eye out at least through today. Now you can see this exploding storm. It begins in the Gulf here. If I back up to the beginning frame, sorry, that's my earthquake app, New Zealand 3.4. Alright, you can see about 21 UTC time is when this storm began, right into the Gulf to the west of the west coast of Florida. And then boom, it looks like it hits a moisture pocket and a warm air pocket rather, and then it just lets loose all over the central areas of Florida, above Lake Okeechobee, below the Panhandle, somewhat inside the Panhandle, and then under Georgia too. So Georgia and South Carolina may be feeling effects from this as well. In fact, more than likely are, as you can see, some of the green is in the southeast corner of Georgia, and then the even southernmost tip of South Carolina. So I believe they are feeling rain from this as well. And then you can see kind of extend back into the Gulf. That's because the Gulf is so warm. Now that is current. That is right now. So this is live chart that you're looking at here. So anyone in Florida that is interested in this chart, this is lightningmaps.org. But what I really want to talk about are the two low pressure systems on their way, making it from the Pacific Ocean all the way across to the East Coast, eventually drenching and causing possibly severe weather from Louisiana all the way to Maine. So I got you set up here for current time. This is April 10th. We're going to move forward. Now you're going to see two low pressure systems. The one just popped up there. Let's see here. That is the Utah, Nevada. Yeah, this is Utah, Nevada, California, and then we got Oregon and Washington. So this probably comes in right over the borders of California and Oregon, and then obviously it goes into Nevada here and then over Colorado, and then this thing seems to beeline right across the top of the U.S. over the Great Lakes just like that, and it becomes a low pressure moisture system mixed with snow above it to the north. So we could be looking at snow in Minnesota and Wisconsin. This would be the 12th, the day after tomorrow. So if I back up here to the 11th, this is when it's probably going to be in Montana, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota areas with a little bit of mix of snow and rain in North Dakota, possibly crossing the border into South Dakota. So we're still not done with the snow yet, unfortunately. But once we get to the northeast, it seems like that uprise in the jet stream is keeping this a rain event. It goes over the Great Lakes, a little bit of snow to the north, but then by the time it gets to New York, it looks like all the snow is up in Canada with the low pressure system settling right over northern New York. But then if you look back to the west, we have that second low pressure system, and this is the one that I'm concerned about, the one that looks like it's over Colorado right now. The center area is in the, let's see, that is the northeast corner of Colorado, about the southwest corner of Nebraska. And then as it moves across the U.S., check this out. It gains momentum, it gains moisture. This moisture to the top is being pulled down from Canada, and then eventually it starts pulling moisture up through, this could be the Baja region or it could be the Gulf. It could be both, actually. So there's moisture being pulled up through Texas, and by the 13th, Texas is going to get some severe weather towards the northeast sides, and that's going to be moving into Louisiana and Arkansas as well. But then check that out. This is when we got to worry about tornadoes, guys. It's April 14th through about the 16th and 17th. You can see here the low pressure is now centered over Nebraska and Kansas, and then we have the back end being snow all the way Obviously, Colorado's involved in that, but then the backside of Kansas and Nebraska both could experience snow from this, as well as Minnesota. And it does look like it clips Wisconsin and maybe the top of Michigan near the Great Lakes. But again, by the time it gets to New York, it looks more like a rain event. But as we move forward, you can see this big strip here is going to be all the severe weather. This is right where Tornado Alley or Tornado Valley is going to be. And then look at that, right near Louisiana, the bottom part of Louisiana, very severe weather could be possible here. And if you guys remember, this tornado strip here is always where we want to watch. So when you see these yellow bands here, especially with the red, that is when you're going to be very concerned about tornadoes and hail and things of that nature, especially in these first weeks of spring where we're making that transition from winter into spring. Let's see, this thing moves across. We get a big mix here along northern New York. That could be possible, but this red and yellow, these colors are really concerning to me, especially being there for such a long period of time. If we can count the frames, this is April 13th, that's April 14th, April 15th, April 16th. So this thing takes 3 full days to move from Louisiana all the way over across to the East Coast, dumping rain the entire time. Some of these rain rates are up to 6 and 7 inches, guys. So we're talking about a lot of rain in a short period of time. Actually, we know 3-4 days isn't that short a period of time. It's more of a rain event than it is a quick storm. So this strip right here is pretty crazy. Cuts right through the Panhandle, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, almost touching the bottom area of West Virginia. So definitely something to be concerned about, guys. We're going to talk about this later on in the afternoon as well. But look, some of these storms move up as far as northeast Pennsylvania, which is where I was staying, and now I'm down near Philadelphia. But this could easily move right across. And then there are areas of North and South Carolina near the coastlines that are going to experience some major wind from this. The low pressure system again is centered over New York, just like the one we talked about before, with a rain and snow mix going up in the north. A little bit of that snow being pulled down, looks like into Wisconsin, Illinois, and Indiana by the 16th on Monday. So that morning commute may be a pain, but it will come and go fairly quickly. It looks like a 6-hour event, and then by the time we get to the end of the 18th, which is Wednesday, that's when it looks like this low pressure system is going to pull off the northern areas of New York and finish its business in Maine. And then we have another little rain event going on. Nothing too significant at this point. A little far out to really put a forecast on with being certain. So the days that I'm calling concern for are basically April 13th is when this begins over Texas. So Texas, you could be getting storms as early as the 13th. And then we're talking through the 15th, 16th, 17th, and finally the 18th is when this thing lifts off. So very interesting weather patterns coming up with this strip of yellow and red. So those of you that are into this type of stuff, if you're going to focus on one area, it's going to be the northeast and the actually southeast as well, all the way from Louisiana to Maine, like I put in the thumbnail. All right, guys, I got to get moving to work. If you have any questions about these colors and the charts to the right here, I didn't really go over these charts, but the colors directly relate to what you see here. Some of these colors may be confusing because one's sleet, one's snow. It looks like the same color. But once you look at these charts for a little while, you start really getting the hang of it. So we're going to keep an eye on these storms, guys. We could be dealing with tornado issues from Louisiana all the way up into, could be Indiana, southern parts of Indiana, as far to the east as Pennsylvania and certain areas of New York. There have been tornadoes in New York. I've had conversations with subs about it below. So we're going to keep an eye on this, guys. This system moving, it's making its way in later in the weekend, and it looks like it just claws right up the East Coast. South Carolina, North Carolina, you will be involved in this as well, especially once it's off the coast. All right, guys? Everyone have a great day. I will talk to you all when I get back from work. All right, see you later. Bye-bye.